Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. According to a report by the Canadian press, come Jul Reedlun it Pachno, breath bad, breath bad drit. Has heads it need the probodu storper store shown. Gezen just work goey. At they get my quiz to come ju stropper strangsting. 18. As speaking at an event in Long Good, Quebec, alongside Quebec Premier Christine Frechette, Prime Minister Carney emphasized that the funds are intended to support critical local developments, including the construction of new hospitals and substantial investments in public transit networks. The overarching goal of the initiative is to provide communities across the province with more rapid, affordable, and dependable infrastructure. However, the announcement has drawn swift criticism from. According to a report by CTV News, Harley Chappell, the chair of the Surrey Police Board and elected chief of the Semiahmoo First Nation, has resigned with immediate effect. His resignation comes in response to the controversial firing of Surrey Police Service, SPS, Chief Norm Lipinski. Chappell expressed strong disagreement with the decision, which was made during a special meeting he did not attend. In his resignation letter, Chappell warned that political tentacles and pressures had reached too deeply into the newly formed police board, compromising its independence. Following Lipinski's departure, Deputy Chief Todd Matsumoto was appointed as the interim chief. Mayoral candidate Linda Annis also criticized the dismissal, calling it politically motivated and pointing to Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke's long-standing opposition to the transition away from the RCMP to a municipal police force. Mayor Locke released a statement thanking Lipinski for his service, but did not provide further explanation for his sudden ousting. According to CTV News, BC Ferries has announced that it will implement a 5% fuel surcharge across all of its sailings starting June 16th. The ferry service explained that fuel represents one of its largest and most volatile operating expenses, attributing the necessity of the surcharge to ongoing conflicts in the Middle East and surrounding maritime security concerns in the Strait of Hormuz. While no specific end date for the surcharge has been established, BC Ferries noted that the charge will be reduced or removed entirely if fuel prices stabilize or decline over a sustained period. Dallin Willis, the chief financial officer of BC Ferries, stated that the company utilized a fuel deferral account to delay implementing fare hikes for as long as possible. However, given the sharp and persistent rise in fuel costs, the temporary surcharge has become unavoidable. The company described this as the most balanced and responsible approach to managing sustained financial pressures while minimizing the direct impact on its customers. The updated fares for affected dates have not yet been reflected on the BC Ferries website. According to a report by the Canadian press, a British Columbia police officer has testified that a second-degree murder suspect confessed to killing his ex-wife and attempting suicide. RCMP Constable Neil Horn told a Kamloops jury that Vitali Stefanski appeared unprompted on a roadside on April 14, 2024, looking disheveled and shoeless, while his blood-stained car was being towed. Horn testified that Stefanski admitted to murdering 44-year-old Tatjana Stefanski, gesturing down a forest road to indicate where her body was located. He also showed officers a self-inflicted abdominal wound and surrendered a knife before being arrested. Tatjana Stefanski, had been reported abducted the previous day, and her body was found several kilometers away with multiple stab wounds. Vitali Stefanski has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. During cross-examination, the defense lawyer suggested that Constable Horn had not actually heard the confession from his vehicle, but the officer disagreed, stating he was close enough to hear clearly. The trial continues as the defense has yet to present its theory of events. According to a report by City News Everywhere, BC Premier David Eby has issued his first public comments since Kerry-Lynne finally was elected as the new leader of the BC Conservative Party, offering a sharp critique of her leadership. While Eby briefly congratulated Findlay, he quickly went on to accuse her of focusing on dividing people, including her own caucus. The Premier expressed deep concern over the Conservatives' unified stance on rolling back existing provincial housing measures, which he argued have helped lower rents, increase housing construction, and curb speculation. Eby warned that the opposition's plans would return the province to the bad old days of the housing crisis. In response to the Premier's remarks, Angelo Isidorou, the executive director of the BC Conservatives, dismissed Eby's comments as panic and fear-mongering, asserting that after nearly a decade of decline under the BC NDP, Eby is in no position to accuse others of division. Findlay won the leadership race with 51% of the vote, succeeding interim leader Trevor Halford. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.